Hey, Royal Family. Welcome to my General Hospital Daytime Drama channel. I am your hostess, the Daytime Drama Queen. Today, I will be reading more of the comments that you all sent in. Thank you. Now, let's get into it. Diane Smith says, "Why are all other couples showing their love for each other and not Sprina? I hear that they are going to hook up Tracy and Finn's father. Why are they doing this to Sprina? My daughter says that Frank Valentini is upset with Tabiana because she got the praise for that leap in Spencer's arms. She went off script and that pissed him off. So he is taking Spencer from her and will put him with Esme because of that. What do you think?" Thank you for your comment, Diane. I certainly hope that isn't true because basically it reeks of retaliation. And how can Frank Valentini fault Trina for that? Because every time you film and there's an error or a mistake, you yell, "Cut," and do a retake. If that's true, he got some serious issues. Thank you for commenting. Leanne Christian wrote, "I don't think NAC Nicholas Alexander Chavez Netflix deal has anything to do with the stalling on the screen of the Sprina storyline. Long before the Netflix deal was announced, back in June, things were heading south. Then at the beginning of the year in January, when Esme washed ashore on the Haunted Star, this started Spencer being obsessed with getting custody of baby Ace. Shortly after, in March, Esme and Ace moved into Laura's house, and this is where the problem with Sprina's storyline began. Then, after the nurse's ball, Spencer asked Trina out, and for the rest of April and May, things were good, only because Spencer and Trina were tied up with Victor Cassadine. Once they arrived back from Greenland, their relationship became non-existent. As a couple, Sprina could have been stuck in a holding pattern where on one hand, Trina is trying her best to stay with Spencer, even though the situation is toxic. On the other, Spencer knows he should not be living with Esme while dating Trina. The way I see it, as long as Spencer continues to live with Esme, eventually he will become the fool when it comes to Esme once again and lose Trina for good. Thank you so much for your comment, Leanne. I see the breakup of Sprina occurring about the same time when, not the breakup, the distance, about the same time that Esme moved under the same roof. Spencer is always consumed with his little brother Ace, and Portia constantly sticking her nose into their matters didn't help at all. Spencer can't find time to be with Trina because he's always watching Esme and Ace. Thank you for your comment. Nikki Phillips says, "I respectfully disagree. It has everything to do with him leaving." Thank you so much for your comment, Nikki. I'm hearing that the filming for the new Netflix project has not begun yet. I think it's the new temporary writers who are causing so much commotion with the storyline. Thank you. Sherry Robinson commented, "I do not believe Trina will hook up with Dex. Can't imagine her first time being on that dirty old couch." Thank you so much for your comment, Sherry. Y'all keep mentioning this dirty old couch. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe I wasn't paying attention to it. But Trina, don't you, if it's that dirty, don't you dare give in to Dex. You can catch the cooties. Thank you. Sonia Met comments, I am a devoted fan who is concerned that the character of Trina and Spencer are being blamed for the predicament that they are in instead of the writers. Fans, all this mess with Sprina is the writers doing, not Sprina. The writers are causing all this chaos and they are hoping that the fans will blame Sprina, and that is exactly what some of the fans are doing. While the writers escape free without blame, fans, let's keep the pressure and blame on the writers where it belongs. We all know that Sprina love their fans and are very grateful for all of us. If it was written within Sprina's hand or power, they will give their fans a beautiful love story to die for, not the mess that the writers have written on purpose. It is not up to Sprina what happens to them because they do not write the script or their own stories. Fans, when you write your comments, I want you to place the blame on the writers where it belongs. We do a great disservice to Sprina when we direct our comments to them as if they are responsible for this destruction of their own relationship. They are not. The writers are the ones creating the gloom and doom in Sprina, and we need to let them know that we know who the culprit is. The writers want us to blame Sprina so they can keep going on with their deception and manipulation against them. Do not let the writers get away with placing their blame on Sprina. If we allow that to happen, then we may as well be part of the conspiracy to take apart Sprina, and the writers win. Every time we as fans blame Sprina for what is happening to them instead of the writers win and Sprina loses. Hashtag Sprina's popularity has been used by GH to promote every Tom, Dick, Harry, and Jane except Sprina themselves. Long live Sprina. Thank you for your comments, Sonia. It appears, especially as of late, that all the characters are getting extra screen time, and the screen time between Sprina has diminished. I said in my responses that they may as well bring Nika, the hostess of the Savoy, Phyllis, the owner of Charlie's, Spinelli, and whoever else gets 2 minutes a month of screen time. They should prop them up as well. Everybody else is receiving that treatment. Thank you. Andrea Wahlberg says, I don't think Netflix has anything to do with it. It's the writers. They have no intention of putting Trina and Spencer together. It was just to prop up other characters on the show. They did not believe Sprina would be popular, and it did. Look at Days of Our Lives, Johnny and Chanel, and they have not put them together since. That's the reality of what soaps do to interracial couples. Thank you so much for your comments, Andrea. In researching my Forbidden Love 2, I'm beginning to see that exact same thing, that they will bring the couples together and let them go only so far, and then poof, no more. Thank you. Andrea also asks, what do you think of the GH writers so far? New writers. Andrea, I really don't see a difference in the temporary writers and the old writers. It seems only difference I see is that the characters who were dormant for months are now hogging the screen time. Thank you. Lula Allen says, I don't think much of the new writers yet. They are only carrying out old writers' leftovers. Molly and TJ do not need a child. They first need a relationship. TJ and Molly, otherwise, I'm not convinced that they are even a couple. Lula also says, Queen, GH is playing with us. TJ won't even kiss that Molly. Thank you for that, Lula. GH is stalling with the TJ Molly storyline. It doesn't take that long to figure out if they're going to use a surrogate. Make the decision and let's move on. Thank you. Sandy Moon commented, there is no redemption for Esme. She should be in jail, not out there trying to take Trina's man. Thank you so much for that, Sandy. Being redeemed or not, Esme needs to take her tail to jail. I think Elizabeth Baldwin's mother made the analysis that she had the amnesia, and I'm not so quite sure that she does. Regardless, she needs to serve her time. Thank you. Cindis Christ writes, how can anyone say that Spencer and Trina are not over? They never spend more than a few minutes together at the most. They have both been reluctant to check in with each other. They didn't know each other's whereabouts. That isn't how a real couple behaves. Thank you, Cindis, for your comment. I think that GH may be airing two different versions of General Hospital. Spencer explained his lack of being with Trina on the fact that Portia does not like him. He even confessed that whatever they will face together. Trina knows where Spencer is. She dropped by Laura's apartment the other day, and Spencer didn't want to stress Portia out any further, so he decided to let their relationship be low key. Lucy Lennon writes, thanks, Queen. Love to hear you read the GH fans' comments. Always a lot of fun. I don't agree with the interracial theory expressed by some fans. Spencer and Trina are not the first interracial couple on soap operas. There were others. Thank you for your comment, Lucy. I really didn't understand when you said the interracial theory. It's not a theory when they put a black person and a white person together. So please send me a text and explain what you mean. Thank you. Desma Walker writes, as much as I like Baby Ace, this storyline with Ace and Esme needs to end. The focus needs to return back to Spencer and Trina and be written with consistency. There is so much untapped potential that remains with Sprina that has not even been explored yet. GH needs to give Ace a damn DNA test and prove that Ace is not a Cassadine. So that part of the storyline can be resolved. The Esme Portia storyline is more of a logical plot points that focuses more on the Springer narrative, at least in the fatal attraction and controlling parents way, but they are both obstacles that need to be eliminated so that Spencer and Trina can flourish as a couple. On the final note, can Spencer and Trina be treated equally as a couple as all the others on the show? Can they do couple stuff like everybody else? You know, stuff like go on dates, make love, be playful, be affectionate, cooking together, etc. Basically, positive things that enhance their relationship instead of arguments, assumptions, lack of communication, and distance. Thank you so much for your comment, Desma. It does appear that Spencer and Trina are the only couple that argue consistently every time they see one another. They just need to let their hair down, kick back, and let loose. Thank you. Aisha Martowi Joyho writes, to be continued. Asia, send me, what are you referring to? Send me a text. Thank you. In response to the Friday night trivia, Cindus Chris says, I got most of them wrong, but it's always fun. Thanks, Daytime Drama Queen. Lucy Lennon says, I love Friday night trivia. I got 14 correct answers. Yeah, Lucy, show off. Thank you. Karen Johnson says, I got 9 right. Well, you did well too, Karen. Sabrina Hughes says, hey, Queen. Great recap regarding Cody. I still can't stand this character, but I'm glad he told Dante the truth. I hope Dante tells Sam and they work together to help Sasha before it is too late. There are just too many open storylines and not any of them ending soon. Just my opinion. Thank you so much for that, Sabrina. My thing with Cody is this. If you're going to tell about Gladys' dealings, tell Mac that you are his son. Jeez. Andrea Wellberg says, look, Trina and Spencer cannot get this falling in love and knocking boots scenes. Thank you, Andrea. They still are not saying that I love you to each other. And as for the knocking boots scene, I'd rather wait until they get married. It's too much of that on the show already. Everybody always taking off their clothes and jumping in the sack. Thank you. Cindus Christ wrote, I've always liked Esme's villainy. It spices things up. When she and Spencer had a bonding talk a few weeks ago, I thought they might fall in love for real. But I no longer think that because her personality is still manipulative even though she has amnesia. But although Spencer isn't interested in her romantically, he could potentially be persuaded to marry her if it meant raising Ace. Further, Spencer and Trina seem to have lost the magic. Now the new writers are resolving Ava's situation, so they might resolve Spencer and Trina as well. But we need some conflict and the storylines to keep things interesting. If every couple has smooth sailing the whole ride, the show would be boring. Thank you so much for that, Cindus. I don't think Spencer is going to fall for Esme. Seeing that she slept with his father and got impregnated by him, I don't see that one coming. Lucy Lennon replied, I like the character of Esme Prince. She adds spice to an otherwise boring soap opera canvas. Thank you, Lucy. Yeah, Esme needs to add spice elsewhere. Trina and Spencer got this covered. They didn't need to insert her into their relationship. Sabrina Hughes writes, "Hey Queen, I don't feel sorry for Ava. She weaponized Spencer against his father using that tape when she knew that she was a reason why Esme went over the parapet, even though it was an accident. She also let Laura, Kevin, and Valentine go to Russia, knowing Nicholas was not there. Lastly, she puts the idea in Nina's head about turning Carly into the SEC. Just my thoughts. Sabrina, it is as though nobody else sees this. Nina, Ava is no good. I don't care if her is Avery's mother. She needs to be locked up. She's wicked. Thank you. Hot Tan writes, I agree. Once Ava caused Morgan's death, that was it for me. She's giving Nina bad advice and now wants to backpedal as if she was only joking. Moreover, Ava didn't realize that not only is Betty a danger to Avery, but Donna as well. Both sisters are usually at Sonny's penthouse together. If Betty ends up hurting Donna, there will be no place in hell Ava can hide from Carly. Thank you for that, Hot Tan. Carly is already 2 seconds off Ava's behind, and I shudder to see that one happen. Thank you, Hot Tan. Sandy Moon says, where is the real Ava who would have beat that nanny down? I'm so glad she finally told Sonny about Mason. Thank you so much for your comments, Sandy. Yeah, Ava Jerome would have picked up a statue and cracked that nanny's skull open like she did Nicholas. Thank you so much. Sabrina Hughes writes, oh my God, the nanny from hell slapped Ava. She don't know what she's done. Ava better tell Sonny everything before the next person she slaps is Avery. I thought the guy Book works for Cyrus. When Spencer was in Pentonville, I don't believe Cyrus' story of redemption. He is definitely up to something. Pentonville is like a shady brook. Now regarding visitation, maybe Drew will go undercover in Pentonville. Maybe that is how he will get a reduced sentence. Just my thoughts. Our final comment comes from Leanne Christian. Leanne says, Mason killed Gordon. Gordon made a big mistake demanding money from the mob. He pretty much signed his death warrant when he did that. Sonny will eventually kill Mason because Mason is arrogant and believes he is ahead of the game. Thank you so much for that comment, Leanne. Leanne, I thought the guy Gordon was part of the same organization as Mason. Yeah, he should have had some backup when he made that threat. Well, Royal Family, that's it for today's comments. I will be doing another comment this week. Please send me your thoughts, your comments, and your theories, and we will discuss. Until then, this has been the Daytime Drama Queen saying ta-ta.